Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Hello, early learners, and welcome back to the art room. Let's start our day with our hello song. Ready? Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Hello to you, hello to you, hello to you, hello to me. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Well, we're learning about Marc Chagall, and today is a picture that I've done lots of times with children, but done it a little differently each time. But since we've been doing art so long, I thought you would be able to try this project. It has many steps, and I know we will not even get close to finishing it today, but I think you're going to like it. Shall we sing the Chagall song? A woman playing violin completely upside down, a row of colored houses and a church inside the town. Marc Chagall painted to inspire you and me, to paint a green-faced man, a goat, and even a small tree. And today we're doing Paris through the window, and here it is. Now, the funny thing about this, the first thing that most children point out to me that they notice that the cat has the face of a human. Look, the cat has a face of a human and it's looking up at the Eiffel Tower. Now, I asked you if you had time to take a look and see if you could see a real photograph of the Eiffel Tower. It is a symbol in Paris. Everyone goes to see the Eiffel Tower when they're there. There's no one who would go to Paris and not see the Eiffel Tower. Lots of people go and they get their picture taken there. Now let's think again about Marc Chagall, what he has in his pictures. Does he have any people floating through the air? Yes, he does. Here's someone right side up, and these people are side to side. There's a mountain in the background, a couple of mountains, different colors. So this mountain is more realistic. This bright red one isn't. It looks like this person is holding onto a parachute and parachuting down to Paris. It's not a small village in Russia. It is a city in France. There is a train here upside down. There is a vase of beautiful flowers sitting on a chair. And here's the thing I told you about. Earlier in the week, I told you Marc Chagall painted himself with two faces. It's kind of like a cubist picture because it doesn't really happen in real life. One head with two faces on it. And one of them is looking toward Paris, and one is looking back to Russia. I thought this was the Russia one because he was blue or sad. When you say, oh, I was feeling kind of blue about that, it means sad. So I thought he was sad when he was missing his little village in Russia. And here he is with his regular face. And on his hand is a heart. Remember, that's another thing that Marc Chagall is known for love. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a horizon line kind of lightly so that we can come back in and put our buildings and not have it see through onto the horizon line. And we're going to put a mountain behind. And then we're going to sponge paint using my watercolors watered down above the mountains. If you want to draw the Eiffel Tower, you can. And I thought I would color it in with my silver crayons or that silver paint later. You might want to make a two-faced person in the corner and a cat with a funny face. You could make it a dog if you like dogs better. You could make it a bird if you wanted to. Just make the animal's body and a human as the head. Now here's the window because that's in the title. And it's called Paris Through the Window. So they have a rainbow window, and I have done it with children where we just took strips of black after our whole picture was finished and just glue them down, down, and across in an array. And this window has 1, 2, 3, 4 panes of glass So if you want to make it look like this one, you can. So what we're going to do now is bring the table up and get an idea of how to start this. And I even made my paper into a square so that when I do it, it kind of follows the same one that we're doing from the print. And I'm going to keep my clipboard up here because it kind of reminds me where we're going. All righty. So let me get my black pen. Oh, maybe I'll use a pencil so you can't see it too much when I go to do the buildings. So here it is. I'm going to do the horizon line. And it has about in the middle is where the, Marc Chagall's is. So I just made a straight horizon line to start putting my village buildings or the city buildings, because this is the one with Paris. And I'm using my watercolor pens, and some of the buildings are super duper tall, and some of them are small. And I could use many colors. I'm just using the black so I can make my outline. I don't want any of them to be exactly the same size. These are big city buildings, and go over here and I'm going to put the Eiffel Tower, and all I'm doing is making it go up off the paper, and I can make it triangle up and off the paper. And it has an archway, and this is the part that people can go up and and it has little girders and things, kind of like when we were doing Faith Ringgold and all of the metal that went across, because this is a building that is very strong. So I can do this. Now down in this corner, I'm going to do my head, and I'm not going to make it gigantic, but I want you to be able to see. I'm going to make the top of his head go down for his forehead. Let me do it this way. I don't know if I'm going to be able to draw it upside down, but maybe if I look at this one upside down, I will be able to. Top of his head, go down to the nose, a triangle, go down to the nose, a triangle. Look how I'm making the faces the same way, the distance apart. It'll go his upper lip, his mouth, his mouth, his chin, and then it will go down to his neck, and go down to the shoulders. The Janus. Janus is known as a two-faced in mythology. So I'm going to put the eye above the nose, two eyes. It looks like it's facing forward, just like it would on a cubist, like on Picasso's. I'm making him look like he has a little widow's peak in the middle of his head. And there the Janus is ready. I'm going to keep doing my buildings this way because the city goes all the way across. I'm going to use purple because I like to make my mountains kind of purpley. So I'm going to use my watercolor and do one purpley mountain that comes above this part of the city. And I can use it over here behind the Eiffel Tower, and a smaller mountain here perhaps. So I have my mountains there, and I told you what I wanted to do with the picture here. I'm going to have to shade. And remember how I do this shading? I hold my pencil on the side of it so that I can just blend it in with the water, because these are the watercolor pencils, remember? And I'm going to show you as I blend a little bit of this, because I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the sky. Because Paris is really known for its fluffy, fluffy clouded skies. And people can say, oh, look at that sky. It's like a Paris sky. And I think, oh, I know what that looks like. It's all fluffy and blue and clear. And you see, every time I use my little water brush, it acts as if it's melting the colored pencil. And here my mountains are. And you notice I didn't want to make mine a magenta one. So I just said, oh no, I'll just make it this color. And I'll shade it in so it looks more shady. Now I wanted to show you what I did with my pie pan. I put my pie pan with water in there so that when I go to use my watercolor pans, which have water in there, I'm going to gently touch my sponge in there and add it to my pie pan. I didn't fill it with water. I only put a little so that I can dab, dab, dab. I'll put a little purple in there and a little dark blue in there. So I have a bunch of different kinds. So watch what I do. I'm going to have to dip out some of it so it doesn't make it super duper dark. And I'm going to go in the background and just make dab, 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 and it makes it have a lot of color. And then I can go back in with the drier side of my sponge if I want to have the clouds around. And I just don't put paint where I want the clouds to go. I turn it on the other side and dab with the drier side. And I go in there and get it all pressed around. And if you like it, you are in good shape. If you don't like it, do what I'm going to do. And if you say, oh, it's too dark, put a little water on it and mix it around. And that will be fine. So then I go in again with my sponge and dab, 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 get it close to the Eiffel Tower without touching it, and get my paints over here. Now the sky doesn't just go along the top, it goes all the way down to the horizon line where you wouldn't want to put it on top of your buildings, but you can go around there. Because sometimes people think they've been taught just to put the sky at the tippy top of the world, but you're breathing the sky air as you're walking around, so you need it to go down to the ground. That's just something to remember. Now I can use my colored pencils to decide how I'm going to do the windows on here. And I'm not using things that are going to outshine the rest of it. So I'm going to use a color like maybe I'll make my building yellow on here. So I'm just going to go here, and later I can come back in and add the windows and on the buildings, but I want to show you how I'm going to finish this out because I don't want the day to end without you seeing how I'm going to add the window to the background. Let me first blend in these colors. So let me blend in my building color, kind of how we did those buildings in the past with the artists with all the colorful buildings. Let me get my window pieces and show you what I mean. I cut a bunch of strips of paper, and are they too thick? Probably so. So what I can do is, I just wanted to show you how skinny. I'm going to cut this one in half, and I will show what my window will look like. So I will add it here, and I'll see how far down to put it and fold it in half. And that way I can make how many window panes I like. So I can say, just like in this one, there were 3 across, or 1 went off the edge, and do a couple across. Boys and girls, it's been a great week talking to you about Marc Chagall. I hope you enjoyed the lessons, and know that next week I'm going to be doing Charlie Harper. One of my favorite things is birds, and we're going to be doing Charlie Harper's birds. And I think you're going to have a good time. I hope you have a great weekend and you finish up your art and send me pictures, boys and girls, because you know if you send your address to the studio, you will get one of these activity books. And each day I would love to see the work that you've been doing. So glad you joined me this week. I'll see you next week. Happy weekend.
To a brand new day, time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.